Canon have seriously just made my life so much harder with the announcement of the Canon R6 Mark III. I was so set on getting the Canon C50 and I still want that camera. But with the R6 Mark III coming out very soon as well, I really do not know what I want to do because I'm definitely going to get a camera going into next year. My current cameras at the minute are the Canon R6 Mark II, which I absolutely love. And I wasn't going to upgrade this camera. This was going to be my B camera to the C50 because this is so good. But with them releasing the Canon R6 Mark III with the exact same specs as the C50, it has really made me rethink what I want to do. In an ideal world, eventually I will have my C50 as my main A camera and the R6 Mark III as my main B camera. But at the minute, I really don't know which one to go for first, and the price point plays a huge part in that. The C50 is £3,200 and that comes with the top handle, and the R6 Mark III comes in at £2,800. So there's a £500 difference there. Now, the one thing that a lot of people don't like about the C50, and is one thing that's kind of making me think I'm not sure if I want it, and that is IBIS. There's no image stabilization in the Canon C50, and a lot of people think that was a huge mistake considering the FX3 has it. And I personally would love to have had IBIS in that camera because my style of shooting is handheld. And the one thing that I loved about the C50 was that XLR top handle with the record button. I love top handles. I shoot on top handles all of the time. I really love the look of the VCM prime lenses as well, but they don't have IS and neither does that camera body. So I was thinking, how am I meant to do handheld shooting with a camera with no IBIS? Well, I do have my Tamron 24-70 and my 7200 f2.8. They both have image stabilization, so I think it would be fine. I use the R5C at my full-time job at the minute with the 15-35 on, and that is fine sometimes for handheld. It is a little bit shaky and I have to use warp on it, so it's not ideal. And that's just the one thing that I've been hesitant on the C50, and I'm glad I waited for the R6 Mark III to see what that's all about because this does have image stabilization. In fact, it has up to 8.5 stops of image stabilization if you pair it with an IS lens. When you put it on paper, you've got the Canon C50 and the Canon R6 Mark III. It's the exact same specs. You can shoot open gate 7K in either RAW or, which I absolutely love and I wasn't sure if you could, MP4 and H.265, which is huge for me because I will never shoot RAW. Like, it's great that you can shoot internal, but the file sizes are way too big. So I don't really care about RAW. I want the compressed formats, and the fact that you can shoot in compressed format and OpenGate I think is amazing because I definitely will be using OpenGate a lot because I shoot a lot for horizontal and also vertical as well. So to be able to shoot for basically both in one video, I think is amazing. It can do that in the R6 Mark III. It can shoot 4K 100 frames per second in the R6 Mark III. In C-Log 2, 10-bit, which I think is amazing. That's the biggest upgrade for me, C-Log 2 over C-Log 3. There's literally, you can do everything in there. You've got waveforms, you've got a full-size HDMI port. It is literally the same camera, but this has IBIS, or the R6 Mark III has IBIS, and the C50 doesn't. And it's £500 cheaper. So what are you getting for an extra £500 in the C50? Well, obviously you're not having IBIS, but that was a choice from Canon. All of their cinema cameras do not have IBIS. You're getting a cinema body. So you're getting the 1/4 inch 20 mounts on the sides, and you're getting the XLR top handle, which is huge. So if you don't have an audio recorder like I am, I'm currently using the Tascam FR AV2 to record this audio. You can't shoot with XLR mics with phantom power, but on the C50 you can because of that XLR top handle. I think that's a great choice. It's literally basically copying what Sony did with the FX3, but I think that's a great way to have XLR inputs in a tiny camera body like the C50. You've also got the cinema menus, which I love. I use them every day. I think they're great. And the biggest one is probably the fan. Now, the Canon R6 Mark III, with all these amazing video specs, 7K RAW, OpenGate, C-Log 2, there's probably going to be some overheating. I've never had overheating issues with my R6 Mark II, but the codecs and what you can actually do on the R6 Mark III is way more demanding than the R6 Mark II. So I do think, I've seen a few YouTube videos where people have tested it. Some people have overheated, some haven't. And if you're in a hot day, like 30 degrees outside, shooting in 4K 100, OpenGate, whatever, that camera probably will overheat. Now, that is probably the biggest thing. If you're a professional videographer who does this for a living, you can't really have a camera that you can't rely on. So I think a fan is crucial, and I do think the C50 is so important to have that fan, and I do think that's a huge upgrade over the R6 Mark III's body. But apart from that, what are you actually getting? Okay, I've seen a few videos as well that the C50 has a dual base ISO of 800 and 6400. Some people have said the R6 Mark III doesn't have that. Some people have said they do have that. And I actually watched a video where they compared it, where they went all the way up in the ISOs, and it really did clean up at 6400. So in my opinion, I actually think they're not saying it has a dual base. Even though it has the same sensor, I think it's capable of doing that. And I do think it has like an unconfirmed second base because of that video that I saw. And if I'm being honest, if they come out and say, yes, it's also got a dual base ISO, a lot of people are going to be like, why would I buy the C50 when we all want IBIS in that camera anyway? And you've just given us the same camera with IBIS. That's why I think they might not be announcing it as a dual base ISO. They're pretty much the only differences that I can see between the two. And obviously with this, you get IBIS as well. So I think that's a huge difference. What do you want? Do you want a fan or do you want IBIS? And do you want to pay an extra £500 for the fan or the XLR ports? Now, the XLR ports I do think is huge because having phantom power going straight into a mic, straight into the camera, you can use the best microphones. I'm using the Sennheiser MKE 600 at the minute, but because I have the Tascam FR AV2, I'm shooting in 32-bit flow and I can actually use that recorder, plug it into the audio jack on my camera and sync it with timecode in post after. So there's a little bit of post-production workflow there to be able to get that amazing XLR microphone to use this camera, but I'm making it work. I've shot 3 weddings now using this Tascam FR AV2. I've all synced it up with timecode in post. It has been a little bit challenging and it's a little bit confusing because there's not much out there to explain it. It is really good. And obviously with that, I'm shooting in 32-bit float as well. So that's another reason why should I go for the C50 or not, because the XLR inputs isn't a massive upgrade for me because I already have my Tascam FR AV2. So that's why I'm in a massive predicament now, because you're getting the C50 camera, which I absolutely want because of them amazing specs. You're getting it in a body that's £500 cheaper, has in-body image stabilization. And a big one for me as well, and a lot of other people out there as well, is that it has a viewfinder. I use viewfinders all the time for photography and I don't really realize it. It's just second nature when I'm shooting weddings, and if it's bright outside, the screen is just not like the best when it's super bright. So I love using the viewfinder. And I've been thinking, if I am going to sell my R7 to get the C50, even though I'm a videographer first, I do shoot a lot of stills and I do second shoot a lot of weddings. And having one camera with a viewfinder and one without, the one without might be a little bit annoying, and obviously it doesn't have a mechanical shutter either. The R6 Mark III does, and I do like mechanical shutters. I much prefer them in electronic just to have the choice. I'm very, very torn on what to do. Canon have made it very, very hard, and in an ideal world I will have both of them. I'll have the C50 probably as my main A camera and the R6 Mark III as my B camera, which would most likely be my handheld rig, and then I'll have the C50 on the gimbal as well for like B-roll bits, which is a shame because I absolutely love that top handle with the record button, and I just wish they put IBIS in that camera. But anyway, that is just what I think. It's also got CF Express Type B card slots in the R6 Mark III, which is why it allows it to shoot in all these amazing video formats. The R6 Mark III just looks like an absolute ridiculous camera. I was so set on not getting rid of my R6 Mark II, but after seeing the R6 Mark III, I think that is an absolute huge upgrade. I think it's a good upgrade for stills in some ways with that 32.5 megapixel sensor. I don't think it's needed, but it's for the video features. C-Log 2, Open Gate, 7K, 4K 120, waveforms, full-size HDMI port. You just can't really go wrong, and it really does look like the perfect camera. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think I should go for the C50? Do you think I should go for the R6 Mark III? What do you guys think? Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See you later.